So, UFC 284 is just around the corner, and Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski is going to be an absolute banger. Today, I just want to kind of go through, give you a couple of my thoughts. No stats, none of that sort of shit. I just want to go through and like tell you the way I think this fight might go, and a couple of things I'll be watching out for. And if Volk can do this, man, this is a massive feather in his cap, and I think everyone should understand that first off before I go for this fight. What I've been thinking of for a while now, because when I got first taught, like, you know, when the boys were all talking about these fights and stuff, I obviously just I went Islam. Like, Islam is the brain pick in this fight. He is the favorite. He's deservingly the favorite. But when you put an Aussie as an underdog, we've seen it in the past before with Kambosos and boxing. Liam Wilson almost pulled it out the other day. Volkanovski had like a $425 outsider here. And for an Aussie, man, like, we just love coming from behind. We're underdog story. That's just the way we are. And I think the way Volk does this is pace, and he's striking. Islam may have a little bit of trouble with the lower center of gravity, the smaller body of Volk, mainly because he's a little muscle ball. It's going to be a lot harder for him to get into those takedown situations or keep him down. It's a lot harder to keep someone down that's very like small, compact. They don't have a lot of like big, long limbs they have to get back under him to spring him back up. Volk is very much like, you know, just this little ball of energy. And the biggest thing, as I said before, is pace. Like, Volk holds a pace for the whole fight. This is a pace that rivals Max Holloway, which is just crazy. Max Holloway is like all time, man, for pace, keeping it on you. Max is known to be sort of a slow starter and then just build it up. Volk can start really like kind of slow, but when he finds his range, when he finds everything, he turns it up and he puts the heat on. And we saw that within the last fights with Korean Zombie and Ortega and Jose Aldo, and even that last Max Holloway fight, is when Volk finds it and puts it on, it's really tough to keep up. And whether Islam can like shut that down really early on to really stunt him from becoming that amazing Volk we all know and love at the moment, which he's a whole new level. Like, this Volkanovski is amazing. Keys to Islam winning this fight, and it's a pretty simple key, and it's basically, you know, this is back and forth either way. It's his pace. Like, he needs to dictate this fight really early on, get it to the ground, be really slow pace, like get into your clinch situations, really grind on Volk. Make sure Volk feels that you are the bigger, stronger fighter, judging by being the taller fighter, the guy that's going to have a lot more weight into him when he gets into that octagon. We're looking at a guy that's probably going to blow up to like 185, close to 200 pounds in that octagon, even though he weighs in at lightweight. Volk will probably blow up to like 170 maybe, I'm guessing, just off the top of my head. The way he looks, he does look like he does blow up quite a bit too, but Islam's going to be the bigger fighter, and that's just the way it is. It is what it is. He's going to have to put his pace on him, slow it down, make sure that Volkanovski knows who the man is in the ring, and Volk's got to take that opposite effect. He's got to speed it up. He's got to start it really early and really take away the momentum of Islam and the slow building momentum of Islam. If Islam loses his confidence, a lot of his game does go out the back door, and it becomes Volkanovski's fight. So this is why it's so interesting. It really comes down to who dictates the fights within the first, second, or third round, because I find that when both these boys start to get a roll on, it's really tough to switch back. It's really tough to really take the momentum back. Volk is good at kind of shifting momentum back into his favor, but someone like Islam that can bank rounds and can bank a whole lot of like getting into really tough positions and make people work out of the worst positions possible, it's really tough for me to see that Volk changing the momentum of this fight if it goes Islam's way. But that is my honest opinion on this one. Honestly, I'm hoping for Volk to get it up, because I think the Australian media needs to get behind someone like Volk. When it comes to UFC fighters and that sort of stuff, I don't think the Australian media really gives a fuck. And like, that honestly hurts, because some of our Australian fighters are really holding the baton for Australia right now. Like, we had Liam Wilson, as I said before, almost take a world championship off a really well-known, amazing Mexican fighter. We've had Kambosos take 4 belts off Teofimo Lopez. And like, I don't feel like it gets spoken about enough in Australian media. I get it, there is some, but I feel like people like Paul Gallen, that home soil rugby league players, get so much more hype put on them than some of these boys that are like top of the division. Robert Whittaker, like certain boys like that, Jimmy Crew, like there's so many killer Aussie fighters at the moment, and even like bringing New Zealand fighters as well. Like we need to get behind these guys. They're doing amazing shit. They're bringing like the best of the best back to Australia so we can watch this. I wish I lived in Perth right now, boys. I would be over there. I'll be watching this fight, but anyone that gets over there, have a great time. This is going to be an amazing fight. I honestly believe this is going to be an amazing fight. It may not be the most entertaining fight if it goes Islam's way, but we are going to learn so many different techniques, the way everything's going to work, like what's Volk's game plan, what's Islam's game plan, and that's the best thing about MMA. It's a chess match going on in there, and we sit there and we enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoy it, all of my sort of stuff. Rugby league video should be coming out maybe next week, coming into the preseason trials, going over some of them. We'll see how we go. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.